Happy Saturday, Robert.
Happy Saturday to you.
How's the world treating you, sir?
Good. Very, very good.
Very good, very good. Like to hear
Very
that.
good.
You're feeling better? I know
And
you were a little under the weather last time.
yeah, it's been a good weekend. So, things hopefully shifting right in the world, Mm,
Indeed.
yeah.
Well, you're listening to the Podcastle, Set Jitter Saturdays, or watching us on YouTube. Thank you all for being with us tonight. Don't forget to check out Robert's website at setjetter.com and follow him on Instagram at set_jetter. And we got a real dilly of a show tonight, folks.
Mm-mm.
Well, this meal's a real dilly, ma'am, from The Stand, 1994, which we'll get into something with The Stand later.
Yeah, a little something people are kind of excited about. So I'm kind of curious
Yeah,
what this is, what it will be, but people are excited about it. So
very excited about it. And speaking of exciting, Robert met the lovely and wonderful and talented and famous and special Gale Ann Hurd this week.
yes. So she was in town for a special event for Film Streams. It's a local independent cinema. So um, my friend is actually executive director over there, and for some reason it wasn't hitting my radar until a few weeks ago. She goes, "Are you coming?" And something Gale and her. I'm like, "What? Wait, what?" And I was just like, "She's coming to town." So last night
Incredible.
they had a screening of Dick, if you remember that. It's the 25th anniversary with Michelle Williams and Kirsten Dunst. It was actually funnier than I remember. I haven't seen it in a long time. So it's about two girls who kind of
I saw that way back
infiltrate,
when.
into the White House during the Richard Nixon era and Watergate and everything. Will Ferrell's in it, and
Yeah,
Terry
yeah,
Garr
for
is in
sure.
it. Yeah, so it was a good time. So um, but yeah, so we got there a little early. So my sister and I were waiting in the parking lot, and so we're kind of killing some time because like, oh, we don't want to go in before it. And then the limousine pulls up, and here comes Gale and Hurd. I'm like, there she is.
There she is.
There she is. So, but
Hollywood
yeah,
royalty.
so we went in, and so that night I brought my Aliens movie magazine, and she was so
Nice.
excited to see that she was like taking pictures of it, and she goes, "You need to scan this for me." That she had not seen it, and she had not seen some pictures of herself on the set. So, but yeah, so and she, so
Amazing.
yeah, so we took some pictures, and she took some pictures of us on her phone too. So she was just really excited.
Oh, so
So
cool.
it was a great night, and just wanted to talk to her. And we talked about Deborah Hill. So we chatted with her about 10 minutes, but we also didn't want to
That's a lot.
monopolize her
Yeah, no,
time. Yeah, yeah.
that's fantastic. She's a legend, and if listeners you're unfamiliar with her, get familiar with her. But she's produced everything from Aliens to Terminator. Um, I mean, Walking Dead.
Walking
I mean,
Dead. Yeah.
yeah, everything. And she actually started off. I read this before. Roger Corman's assistant at
Hmm.
New World, which did million films, Children of the Corn included. But she was like an assistant to one of the father of B
Yeah.
movies, and I mean, what a storied career! Just to be able to talk to her for 10 minutes, and
Yeah.
she's young too. I mean, I know it says here she's 69, but given her career, like she started young, and
Yeah.
her longevity is rarely matched in Hollywood on that level.
Mm. And
You
she talked
know,
about Corman last night. That she said she was fresh out of college. Corman set her.
really.
And she said, more or less, she told the story how Corman set her career, because she was just graduated, and she had an interview with him, and he's like, "What do you want to do with your career?" And she's like, "Producer." And he's like, "All right." And she goes, within 2 years, I think she was on she was her first producer on a Corman film, and he just let her do it. But she also talked how Corman was the training grounds for her and Coppola and James Cameron and Jack Nicholson. That he
Oh
was,
yeah,
yeah, he said, or she also talked about, that was at that time, um, women were doing everything from directing to producing for Corman, and that's like certainly not the norm in Hollywood. So, but
no,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
not then at all. By all means, of course.
and
And
then
even Scorsese was in Corman's like world.
oh yeah.
You
So
know.
today they had another screening for a documentary that she produced called Man Killer, which is about uh, Wilma Mankiller, who was the first Cherokee woman chief, and kind of her life. And that
Oh,
director
okay.
was there. And so today I was like, I brought out the big boots. I never wear them, and I certainly
Why would you?
usually I never wear usually the big one, the full aliens stompers, is the Reebok stompers is what we're talking about, people. So in my Wayland Yutani shirt. So I got there,
Nice.
and my friend is like, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "These are the alien stomper shoes." And she goes, "She's gonna be so excited to see those." So she came in, we're walking, and she goes, "I know what those are," and
Oh,
and
nice.
she
She recognized him.
yeah, and she
Like
goes,
she pointed him out.
yeah, and so she took some pictures and shared them on her Blue Sky today about
Oh,
what
nice.
there's me and her, and she's pointing to her shoes, and she's trying to say, "Do you know who what shoe these are and who wore them?" But she said she was having a fun time in Omaha. So yeah, so
That's such a lovely story. That's so cool.
she's fantastic, more fantastic than I could have imagined. So.
I couldn't imagine. You know, to be in the company of someone with that kind of history that you're a fan of, and to have them turn out just so nice and accommodating, it's like the best thing ever.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I 100% agree. So
that's exciting. So, how was the event overall?
it was great. It was great. So Film
Yeah.
Streams is a great independent cinema. They've had Sea Change is kind of their new SEE change is kind of one of their new kind of
Okay. Right. We've talked about
events.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, so it was fantastic. Will
Oh,
not
I'm so
complain.
glad to hear
Yeah.
that. That is so cool. Um, I got nothing to top that,
Oh,
so we're gonna
and
just wrap it up.
who'd you hang out with this weekend? I'm kidding.
I'll tell you what.
You're in LA, for God's sake. They're all around you.
I know, right? I kicked off what you've been watching tonight. I realized I haven't been watching anything but The Wire because I started watching that again, and I knocked. This is over the past like 2 weeks, but those go down like water.
Yeah.
And this time around, I've learned more than I think I have in other seasons because it's so layered, that show. There's different things. Um, there's different, characters and arches that you don't really pick up on and until like the third time around. And it's good. I mean, The Wire I still maintain is the third best TV series ever. Maybe fourth if you want to include sitcoms in there, but it's just so
if you're
good.
including Three's Company,
Yeah.
then it's fourth. So
You like The Wire though, right?
I just watched the first season, honestly, and I've
Oh,
never.
really?
Yeah, so I need to. It's on my list too, but I also know how many seasons do they have?
5.
5. Yeah, so it seems like a winter thing I should probably do.
It is kind of a winter thing.
Yeah.
It's cold Baltimore.
Yeah.
But the characters were groundbreaking at the time. And I know David Simon, the producer, I just bought one of his books, is very vocal and outspoken. And I didn't know that before, but if you just go to his Twitter, it's like just calling people out. I'm like, I don't know. He seems a little unhinged, but I feel like that comes
Twitter,
with his He was a reporter
Twitter, what's
before.
that?
What's that? Oh, you mean X?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
you mean
sorry.
X?
I
Who's
don't know.
who's that?
I just moved over to Blue Sky since Gale was talking about it last night, so I pulled the trigger. And
What's Blue Sky?
it's a alternative to
Really?
X. Oh yeah, so come
I'll
on
have to check that
over.
out. I tried a few back in the day. I tried like
Cheddar.
Mastodon, and
Yeah.
they
Set
never
Cheddar's-
like caught on. But maybe I'll try it.
I think this will be. I don't. Set Jetter's already over there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sold. If Setjetter's on there, because I know you were on X before, right?
Not really, but
Yeah.
So,
like you didn't maintain a Setjetter account.
no.
Right.
I think I
Okay.
might have had one, but I didn't really.
Well, if the Setjetter's on Blue Sky, I'm sold.
There you go.
So
Gale's over there.
Gale's over there. So head on over there, kids. So The Wire I watched, and I watched Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul last night. I'm sure you did too.
Well, I'm sorry. I was at a screening with Ms. Hurd, but I heard I heard there. I was listening to NPR on my way to the screening today, and I heard there's multiple issues.
Oh yeah. Well, here's the biggest issue. One thing is I'm not a fan of either. It was I'm not even a big boxing fan, but the fact that it was so hyped up, I turned it on, and my wife came in and she started like watching them come out, and she goes, "Why are they fighting? Were they like talking trash?" I said, "No, just money. I mean, we're standing here watching it, and
Yeah.
like we laughed. We're like the marketing worked. It was so hyped up." But I was like, Tyson, if it was a real fight, like it was sanctioned.
Yeah.
And he's 58, so I was like, I'll watch the circus. It was very anticlimactic. Everybody was there, like everyone from Shaq to Charlize Theron to whoever. but the commentators were like a little bit below what I expected. They had like Rosie Perez courtside and
Rosie
Cedric
O'Donnell.
the Entertainer. I'm like, these aren't even like sports people. Um, but it was boring. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't exciting. But I will say, like Logan or Jake Paul came out with this in this like crazy truck down the runway. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. And he had these pigeons in the cage. And this will be my PSA for the night. Like, I guess he had pigeons because he tried to give them to Tyson and Tyson refused them. These are animals, okay? They're in a cage. They're scared to death with 80,000 people screaming and loud music coming from this. It's a football stadium.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, that really irked me. I'm an animal guy. You
You're
know,
like, wait a second.
I
This
don't
isn't.
care if you're fighting in the boxing ring. It's a sport, whatever. But like, I don't know. To me, that's animal abuse, and I just thought it was a bad look. And I was
Why
like,
just released 10 kittens into the like.
yeah, it's like, come on, really? I'm sure PETA had a field day with that, but
uh,
I don't know. It's just one more thing for me not to care about that guy. You know, I know he
yeah.
has a bad record. I've never watched him on YouTube, but
I have. Yeah, I
just like
know who
it
he is,
sucks.
but just don't get. Yeah.
No,
Well,
yeah.
you remind me because there was only one boxer I ever followed for some reason. That was Nassim Ahmad, and he was an Arabic boxer
Oh, okay.
back in the. I don't know why I was kind of
Oh, that's cool.
infatuated with him, but yeah.
Yeah.
But then, and just on TV, and then a couple years ago, our United Way here has a boxing fundraising event, whatever. It
Oh,
is. It's weird to see it in real life
is
because
it?
I don't know, because it's just people literally hitting each. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's one thing when you see it on TV because it seems
Right.
not fake, but Rocky-ish and
Right.
for show. And when you're where they're right there, I'm like, this is real. They're
My
hurting
dad
each
said the
other.
same
Yeah,
thing you
yeah,
did. He said he
yeah.
saw it once, and he's like, "It's not pretty to watch. You're watching two
No,
people, like, hit each other."
yeah, and I don't know why it's
You
different
hear
on
it.
TV versus you're just actually seeing the blood. It's
Well,
like,
see,
oh, what?
that's
Yeah,
what I fell down the trap was I'm thinking Rocky Balboa, the 6th one, where he
yeah,
comes out of retirement to fight, like, I'm like, "This is it." Tyson, if he, like, wins, you'll be, like, seeing a miracle. He'd be the oldest boxer
yeah,
to beat, and it was exactly what should have happened. He held his ground, but he was
yeah.
slow and just
Well,
he didn't even look like he cared.
he
Um,
was everybody's getting the money, so
right.
thank you for contributing to both of their paychecks,
Right.
Matthew.
Thanks
Way
for
to go.
helping out,
Yeah.
Mike. But so that was it. But yeah, it was
Hmm.
I don't know. I felt the marketing worked on me. I fell into the hype and
Apparently so.
it was on Netflix, but I haven't
Hmm.
been watching
Hmm.
much else. I do have a few things on deck. So
Yeah, what you
I
I know
have
you have.
I have to watch the sequel to Waxwork,
Oh,
which I
yes.
started watching, but I didn't get to finish it. Um, and then I have Cobra Kai this weekend. I haven't been like crazy about getting back into that. I don't
Me
know why.
either for some reason. And now, is this
Really?
it? I think this is it for Cobra Kai, I assume.
I
I
think
think
there's
this is
one more.
is there one more?
No, I mean this is the final season, but I think
Yeah.
they're segueing the last episodes for February, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
All right. But yeah, I was just kind of like, I think
You're in the same boat.
it's done. I don't need to continue. But yeah,
Yeah.
so my Blu-ray did come, so I need
Oh,
to
nice. That's a nice
dig into
Blu-ray.
that. Yeah. So
Here, can you hold it up again? I'm gonna do a how do I do a solo? There we go. Oh, nice. Waxwork 2. Oh, that's a really nice Blu-ray. Is that from
Vestron.
nice.
So yeah, people from my era remember Vestron Video as
Yeah.
cheap horror movies and stuff like that. So it kind of came back.
Yeah, no, it's exciting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. What have you been watching? I'm sure it's exciting.
I watched the Tommy Knockers,
Oh, nice. Jimmy
which
Smits?
yeah, Jimmy Smits, Mark Helgenberg, who just had her birthday today, I think. Yeah, because it was on Stephen King that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she's actually from Nebraska, and
Oh,
her
nice.
her mother used to live at the same place where my parents stay, at 55 plus apartment. So,
Oh, that's cool.
but yeah, so Mark would come out sometimes, and
Oh,
the
that's really
parents
cool.
said she was very nice, but her mother has since passed away.
Oh.
But yeah, so anyway, I was like, let me give it. It was like a YouTube freebie, you know. I was like, no, let
Oh,
me
good
get
to
through
know.
this because it's one of those. I remember at the time, I was like, and that was the last kind of the one of the last Stephen King books I really read because I was like, something was not the same. So, and it does kind of fall in the same. It's like Needful Things and whatever, where big cat,
Yes.
you know, here's the town and something happens and somebody's against you somewhere, and
Yep.
and so it's kind of it's a little kind of familiar trope, but I
I
was
do
actually
love the 90s
yeah.
Stephen King miniseries. It's all the same and it's all great.
Who else? I had Tracy Lords, and so it was
Yeah.
it was. I watched it all the way through. I didn't stop it, so there you go. So
Yeah. It had
I didn't
Robert
completely.
Carradine was in it.
Oh yeah,
Who else was in that?
kind of like a lot of one-offs,
The
but
guy that played the postal worker I like. He's a good actor. He's a
oh yeah,
character actor. I forget his name, but he's in Glory and a
oh
few
yeah,
other
and
things.
he's in Secret Admirer, one of my favorite
Oh
movies.
yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah,
But
but
that is I haven't seen that in a hot minute, but I saw that originally when it came out and I taped it illegally on
mm,
VHS and I
don't
watched it like
tell
over the
anybody.
years. Yeah. How dare I?
I watched it over and over
Oh, does it still
without
hold up?
paying any royalties.
I write Stephen King a check. I remember the scene where the cops are like, "Drop it, lady," and she's like, "You're not gonna stop a girl from putting on her lipstick," and she like
Yeah, yeah,
zaps them.
and then she goes, "Yeah, you shouldn't have done that, Tracy Lords." But
Is it still hold up? I mean, all things considered.
it for what it was, yeah, it was fine. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it didn't. Here's the thing: it didn't completely. Usually, a lot of Stephen King, it's by the end, it's so deflated that nobody is like, just end this, But
yeah,
it
yeah.
was fine. So, but yeah,
Okay,
so I
cool.
watched, and really the only other thing I watched is My Old Ass with Aubrey Plaza.
How is it?
It was fine. It's
Yeah,
not. I don't think
she's
it's
good.
made for me. Yeah, but
No,
it had some interesting moment, like because more or less, this girl ends up, her older self comes back and interacts with her, and then kind of disappears again, and then she calls her sometimes. She's like, "Whatever you do, don't do this," and yeah, and so,
oh,
but yeah, so it was like, okay, it was
okay. Was it
not.
made? It wasn't made for you, kind of
It
thing.
was probably not made for, teenage girl meeting her older self was probably not made for me, but
Okay,
it
sure,
it
sure.
was fine. But for some
It
people,
was
I hope they
fine.
enjoy it. So, but
Yeah,
otherwise, yeah, that's about all I think I've been watching.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
cool, short and sweet.
yeah. Besides Dick and Mankiller
Oh yeah,
in the theater, but yeah,
which is exciting.
it reminds me that, and I think Dick was funnier than I remember because it reminded me a little bit when I saw Back to the Future at the Hollywood Bowl, and it was everybody's laughing and whatever. When
Oh,
you watch it by yourself, you're not really cackling along, but there's the audience community, that the communal watching makes a difference.
it does. It
Yeah.
really does. Um, we're going to get into. I feel like we talked about this a few months ago, but it's finally here because
Mhm.
we've mentioned a million times. We do have a segment called Robert's Fault, but Robert has an extraordinary disproportionate number of props compared to the rest of the world. And it is the 40th anniversary of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Robert, which
Yes.
premiered on November
So today's November 16th. So today was the wide release.
wide
A week
release
ago was the limited release. So people celebrate different. I celebrate both.
of an. I celebrate. Do you put happy anniversary if you celebrate it too?
Yes.
Right. For those who celebrate it.
For those who celebrate Nightmare on Elm Street's anniversaries.
Well, this is exciting. This is a Nightmare on Elm Street. And before we get into it, I have to mention I'm already, schoolgirling out over here about these shoes because I'm a sneaker guy.
Do you want me to start with those? I don't know. Well,
No, you start
okay,
with
yeah,
whatever you're comfortable with, but
gotcha.
I'm just saying you're in for a treat. I'm going to give the screen to Robert.
Alrighty.
Um,
So, and I've not dug out everything, but I tried to figure out kind of some stuff that I've had over the years. So,
this is exciting.
so early on, there was not too much. So around part 2, 3, then it started getting really popular. So one of the first things I had was the Nightmares on Elm Street, and so it
So
was parts
cool.
1, 2, and 3, and I actually have 3 different versions.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Was it a collector's edition and then
well, so the first one you probably can't see too well, but it's like embossed. So this is kind of the glove and so forth is kind of
Okay.
embossed out. So, and then when they did the re-released, it was not.
Yeah.
Boring. And
But you
then
had to have it though.
I had to have every version, and then there's one with a completely different cover. So,
Oh, nice.
but
Is
it's
that the
funny.
Freddy's Revenge cover?
I don't think it's even Freddy's Revenge, so I'm not quite sure. But it's
But it was
interesting
definitely
because
a promotional
yeah,
still.
but they have pictures within the book, but it's
Oh,
only Elm
wow.
Street 1 and 2 because I don't know if 3 was not quite done filming or if they had deadlines, but for some reason the pictures
Oh,
are
that's exciting.
yeah. So those are some the first novelizations, and around that time they also released. We really didn't have much. The Nightmare on Elm Street Companion.
Oh, nice. Hey, worth having though.
It is worth, and so it's one of those books that's mostly pictures and
Oh, yeah. Nice touch.
kind of blood dripping, but then he's like, it's also special. It's like and color pictures in the middle.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah,
Hey, and these were original pieces too. Like
yeah. So
anybody
this
can
one,
buy anything today, but then these are hard
yeah,
to come by,
I'm
the
not quite
originals.
sure. So this one has a little bit of smoke damage. So I had an apartment fire many
Oh,
years
yeah.
ago, and so this one I could tell has this. This is my original. So
Apropos being the Freddy fire and
yeah.
Yeah.
So there we go. So it's funny because the cover, this is not Robert Englund. This was the day from Elm Street 2 where they had a stunt person.
Oh, so it's not even him.
It's not even Robert Englund on the cover.
Oh my gosh.
And if you've seen the movie, then you're well aware that
Oh yeah.
yeah. So
I revisit 2 the least though. I'm more of
yeah.
a 3 guy.
We'll continue with some books
Ooh,
though, and we're not going to be in quite sequential order.
this is
I don't
quite the
know.
vault.
I don't know why I've some of these are slightly different. And there's a reason I have, but so they had the Nightmares on Elm Street's Part 4 and 5 novelizations as well,
Wow.
and for some reason they're all a little bit different,
Oh, that's exciting.
and I have to have them all. So I think this is the international version. It's a little bit different here,
Yeah.
but yeah, of course,
Well, please.
So yeah, what am I doing with all these? I don't know.
Hey, collectors.
I read them at the time.
No way. Those are awesome to have.
Yeah, but because that's all we had. So, and then I had some randoms, the Nightmares on Elm Street.
Freddy's back.
Yeah, so
Is that a
Freddy's back.
collection of short stories?
Yeah, so it's like seven Freddy Krueger's 7 Sweetest Dreams.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, and in the 90s particular, there was all these kind of young adults,
Oh yeah. Oh, that's
Freddy's.
totally 90s.
Yeah.
That's like right out of Fear Street.
Yeah, and you open it up and you get that kind of the
Oh,
cutout.
nice. Those are cool.
But yeah, so I think these kind of go for a lot of money sometimes because they're
Yeah.
they were what
And you have them in really good shape.
$3 at the time, and
What are they called, those titles?
Freddy Krueger's Tales of Terror.
Nice.
I don't have all of them. I
Help
just have a
Wanted
few,
and
but
Blind
because
Date.
they were also kind of
Yeah. Written
not
for the young written
Yeah.
for the young kids.
We'll continue with some books, and so this is one more recent. So this is actually Jesse's Lost Journal. So it's written by Mark Patton, who played Jesse
cool.
in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Oh,
And it's
nice.
supposed to be
His journal?
Jesse's journal.
First person?
Yeah. So from 1982.
That's cool.
So
That's actually very cool.
And I
It's a nice touch.
and here he signed it.
Oh, perfect.
Robert, he's inside me.
Oh, that's great. That's exciting.
Yeah.
The great Mark Patton.
Oh,
that's cool.
Now the next are books, but they're kind of strange, and I'm not quite sure why they exist.
Always interesting.
So these are hardbound,
Oh,
like you would see in schools.
I was going to say it looks like a school book.
Yeah, and so it is kind of one of those Nightmare on Elm Street short story. Like it's about the movie, but it's almost like it's made for kids.
It looks like it. I was going to ask you,
Yeah.
was that like?
It's like the Nightmare on Elm Street storybook.
Was that a promotional piece for the first film?
Well, no, because they go all the way to Freddy's dead.
Save the best for last.
Save the best for last.
I'm curious why they did that though, because that's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, it's
know.
cool. It's
Yeah.
just it's peculiar.
And I don't remember. I've had them for a while, and they're literally in pristine. Like the spines have never even been broken.
Wow.
So, but
oh yeah, that's cool.
So I don't know And I think they do they go for expensive now, but I'm not quite sure why they exist. Look at this. But yeah, so they made them for all the first 6 movies, I guess I should say.
Yeah, that's exciting though.
Yeah.
It's interesting they did that. Be curious what the thought was.
Yeah.
I like it.
And they have like strange cover choices.
Oh, he's dancing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, like this one, I don't even think this one's not even at Elm Street 3, but
Interesting.
yeah. But
What did
anyway.
you get those? I mean, was that online or at a store?
Yeah, I think on eBay many years ago. So
Okay.
I need to look up. So
Those are pretty cool. I gotta look into those.
yeah, so I'm not quite sure where they come from or why they exist, but
they're there, and you have them.
Once I saw them, I had to have them. So
I was gonna ask you what that dinosaur is.
well, this is Rex from. Well, it's not the actual prop, but
Oh, it's a
yeah, from
stuffed animal.
Yeah, stuffed animal from New Nightmare. They
Right.
made, so it's kind of a little pillow for you if you want.
Oh, that's cool.
To have a Rex,
Rex.
pillow. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I might never sleep again pillow. So
nice.
This is from around Elm Street 3 times. So the Freddy Krueger fan club.
Ooh.
And so it has a wealth of stuff that came with it.
Oh, that's sharp.
Let me see what we got here.
It's a traditional folder that you did get from fan clubs.
Yeah, with the special letter, "Welcome to the Freddy Krueger fan club."
Oh, that's great.
Let me see what we got here.
That's what we had back before the internet, kids.
Yeah.
It's
so
exciting.
It was, so Elm Street 4 was coming out. So it's a tension film,
Oh, that's cool.
You can watch all 3 in these cities.
Yeah, that's exciting.
So it came with a lot of photos and stuff like that of Freddy.
Oh, that's exciting. This was the real deal too. It was. You paid for it. You waited 6 weeks, and you got it.
A catalog of things that you could buy.
Nice.
So I did not bring out my T-shirts, but I do have all these shirts.
Oh, nice.
So the T-shirts are
that middle one's my favorite.
The T-shirts are really tucked away. But let me see. Let's see how much a T-shirt cost back then. $14. So
pricey.
That was still a little pricey, I think, for a shirt. So, but I had to have them.
You had to have it.
I had to have them. So, let me see what else they got here. Oh, here's a story about Freddy's dead, and they also sent some what do you call these? Storyboards from Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, cool! I love the storyboards. Yeah. They're so exciting.
And then the records I have put away, but
vinyl
for the 45s of Doc and Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
And then GJ Jazzy Jeff, Nightmare on My Street. Yeah, if you remember those. So
I do. Are those the original 45s?
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Of course, of course they're original.
Of course.
But yeah,
I do remember Nightmare on My Street.
It was
interesting that they got Fresh Prince to do a song.
Here's my Freddy Krueger official membership.
Oh, nice.
Now I know I'm official. So.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Now, if you remember, Premiere Magazine used to have these little tear-out cards, like movie cards.
Oh, cool.
And so they had one for Elm Street.
I remember
Premiere. Have some trivia on the back side.
Oh, that's so cool.
And one of my favorite little things that I got over the years is a mini, like a business card calendar for 1987.
Oh, wow.
For Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, that's cool. I like they have it protected too.
Yeah.
That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
That could be a magnet.
I can look back, I can tell you exactly what I was doing on these dates in 1987.
Yep, you can look. You're all logged.
It's like I know what's going on. So.
I know what's happening.
That was
Reagan was president.
Yep.
Lost Boys was coming out. Robert was in his prime.
I just got these, but these are the Mondo LPs for the first 3 Nightmare on Elm Street. So nice. I did have the original albums from Faris Sarabande years ago, but they were also destroyed in the fire. So
the LPs.
These are my replacements.
It's good to have them.
Stay awake fast.
I thought that was going to be Hypnosil.
It was not Hypnosil. This is what Nancy took to try to stay awake. So
stay awake.
I'm not sure where those came from.
Are there actually candies in there?
There are jelly beans that are very old. So
yeah, don't eat one.
Don't eat
it.
Probably
You
I
eat
should
one and you
probably
stay
do
awake
something
for
with
3
that.
days.
Um,
Oh,
little
that's a cool hat.
Nightmare on Elm Street cat. Yeah,
Nice.
that I've had over the years. I never wear, but here it is.
And I'll remind everyone these are all official.
These are all official. So these two things are from 1987. This was my first Freddy Krueger mask that I
Oh my
had when I
gosh.
was 17,
That's from 87?
1987.
Wow.
And I can't believe it's in as good a shape as it is.
I was going to say it's pristine.
Yeah, it's not, no, this is intentional, so you can put it on and off. But
Now, did you wear this for something or was it just collecting?
oh, I wore it. Yeah,
Nice.
I dressed up as Freddy Krueger for many Halloweens
Oh
and
yeah,
so
I was going
forth.
to say
But
if you
yeah,
have it,
but
like
but yeah, it's in great condition. So
that is in great
I didn't
condition.
take special care of it either, so I'm not
It
quite
was built to
sure.
last.
I don't know, because usually this type of stuff eventually kind of just
Yeah,
disintegrates and stuff like
usually,
that. So,
but
but
also what's cool about that is the teeth. I
yeah,
mean, it's not the
he has
standard gap.
the back teeth.
It's
Yeah.
That's really.
So
Where did you get that?
I used
That wasn't like a pop-up store, was it?
no, no, I think you could order it. I think that's
Okay.
what happened. So yeah, because
Yeah.
you wouldn't even buy it in a store back then. So it would just be
Oh, that's
one of
cool.
those things. So that has survived, and at the same time, this is all you could get. This was the Freddy Krueger glove that you could buy.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So it's plastic, but
Never had one, but like always put it on in the store and
yeah,
like thought it was cool.
I've not put it on probably in a couple of
Does it fit?
decades.
Oh,
So yeah,
nice. Can you
fits
wiggle the
fits
fingers?
like a glove.
Perfect.
Uh,
Hell, sweet
yeah.
dark meat.
So surprisingly, this is all intact. So
Oh wow,
for
it's built to last.
how many years since 1987? I don't know, but
Yeah,
quite a few.
37.
37. Yeah. So, but yeah. So these are probably
Now
worth
that's exciting.
something. I don't know, but I have a bunch. I won't go through. So I have a bunch of Fred Head stuff.
Nice.
So that's
I'm
the
a Fred head.
documentary that I was one of the
You were like a
producers on.
producer. Yeah.
I have a couple more books.
No, you got a lot of Freddy stuff.
Nightmare on Elm Street, the Elm Street Legacy.
What
So
is that?
this is kind of like Crystal Lake Memories. So it is a huge,
Oh.
big
Oh
book
wow, it's like an anthology.
of and I think it's just the first Elm Street, if I remember. Mostly the first Elm Street, but yeah. So, and it's of course signed by Robert and Heather and Amanda Wiss and Tommy Hudson. So,
Oh, it's so cool.
but yeah. So let me see. Yeah, it looks like they're going to a couple of other Elm Streets, but a lot of rare photos and stuff. But it's a
Oh
good book.
yeah. That's cool. That's a really nice thing to have for that.
It is.
It's all there.
Oh, we got Screams and Nightmares, the films by Wes Craven.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's specifically about Craven.
Yeah, so this is more obviously it's a lot of Elm Street and so forth, but also Hills Have Eyes and
Oh, cool.
Scream and so forth as well. So this is also a good one.
Rest in peace.
This is my Nightmare on Elm Street 3 script, signed by almost the entire cast.
I love it's at the Whiskey too.
Yeah, so this was at the Whiskey A Go Go, where was it 5 years ago now? They had a special
Amazing
reading. Oh, here it is, right here. Robert Englund, The Dream Warriors at the Whiskey A Go Go. And I was trying to remember whose script this is.
What an event!
Sure. But yeah, so all the original script.
So cool.
And I'm trying to think. They said who it was, but yeah, so got to meet the whole cast, and they were kind of for the VIPs. They signed all this, so
oh sure.
I should probably do something special with this. But
no, that's cool. Yeah, that should be framed up.
Framed up. So we do have this framed up. Let me see.
There's more framed
There's
up.
more.
We have.
So this is kind of a mini poster signed by most of the cast.
That's cool.
Robert Englund, Heather Langenkamp, Lynn Shay. God, I always forget Charles Fleischer, who played the Doctor.
Yeah.
Roger
Yeah, you
Rabbit.
have all the main people in there.
Most of the main people. So Rod, and who else? Ronnie Blakely and the dad. So yeah.
That's so cool.
Usually I'm not too much of an autograph person, but
Yeah, hey, but when in Rome,
yeah,
that's a good one to have.
yeah. We got a nice Elm Street
Ah,
sweater here.
Freddy
So.
sweater, the classic Christmas colors.
Do you know how you can tell it's a part 1 sweater?
Because of the red and going side to side.
The red sleeves.
Red
And
sleeves.
the first one, the sleeves were all red. In the sequels, they were also
They're
striped.
striped. That's
Yep,
right.
so
Yeah. Very cool. What was the meaning behind that? Was it just a
at the
aesthetic
time
choice?
in the movie, in the script, I think it was red and yellow striped, and they made it red and green because it's supposed to be hard on your eyes to have both those colors present at the same time.
Yeah,
So
it works.
Robert thought that. So these are the shoes.
So just a little background on these shoes.
Yeah.
These are limited edition Nike Freddy shoes, and they're going anywhere from 20,000 to I've seen as high into over 100,000 for certain sizes.
Crazy.
Yeah,
So
but you have them.
I have them. I've worn them too much.
Yeah,
And
you were
then
saying you wore them like LA,
yeah,
but at
and
least
you can
somebody
kind of see
recognized
inside
it.
is Freddy's skin.
Oh, it's so cool.
Uh,
They got to be comfy too.
yeah, they were pretty comfy, and that's why I thought, oh, I'll wear them to Halloween. And I think a couple years ago, I was wearing them to Halloween Horror Nights, whatever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think when I realized I should probably stop wearing these, like people would literally 4 or 5 times a day stop me in the streets in Los Angeles
Oh yeah.
about these shoes and take pictures
Oh, they're
and
so
so
great.
forth. But yeah, so
So you only wear them like once in a blue moon now.
I now I don't wear them at all. But
Yeah.
and I secretly have another pair, but
Oh yeah.
they're
Hold on, that you haven't
yeah.
worn.
Yeah, I've never worn, so
Yeah, that's a good security
I'll hold on
deposit.
to that. So let's see what we got here.
Those are exciting.
This is a
What is that?
Freddy,
That's
it's
a
a
glove.
Freddy, it's a glove, but this is a sharp one. So you can kind of see the
Oh, yeah.
knives and so forth. But and it is also signed by Robert Englund.
Oh, that's so sharp.
So
Now,
this
where did
one-
you get him to sign that?
So as a producer on Fred Heads, this was my
That's a nice touch.
this is my perk. Yeah. So
That's worth it.
yeah. So so this was my nice perk. So one, it's obviously a replica glove, and two, to have it signed by Freddy. So
Oh,
I think I
it's so
told
nice.
you when I was at Universal, they have that little prop store where they have some stuff right outside Universal Studios on City Walk, and
Yeah.
and yeah, they're like, yesterday we had a glove signed by Robert Englund. I'm like, oh,
They
that's
don't know who they're talking
fantastic.
to.
Yeah. So
And this is where
and
Spider-Man
this is
was filmed.
So this is my Elm Street 2 standee. And actually I have a
That's
couple of
nice.
these. So
Oh, that's cool.
this is not the one that I had when I was a kid, but at the time I wrote Media Home Entertainment asking if I could buy, because I saw them at the video stores, you know.
Yeah, you're
And-
right. Yeah, that's where you would get them.
Yeah, and I asked if I could buy one, and then one day, and one just showed up. So it came in this huge flat cardboard box, and it says, "Your nightmare has arrived."
Oh, that's so
And
cool.
so yeah, so I had that for years. So actually I have 2 of these right now. So one on display and one in storage.
One in storage.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Thanks
Yeah.
for bringing all that out.
Yeah.
I know it's a
Well, I
lot.
do have the one item that
Uh-oh.
the item.
Uh-oh. I know what this is.
You know what this is. Let me see how I'm going to get this on camera.
This
heavy.
is
Do you want the back of the door first?
whatever's easier for you.
Let's
But
see.
if you heard Robert, he said door. And what this, well, I'll let Robert explain. But this is pretty.
So
this is
this
the creme de la creme.
This is the original upper half of the door from the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So, and you can see
Amazing.
Heather signed it.
It belongs in a museum. It's a door.
So that's actually her line from Nightmare on Elm
Yeah.
Street 3.
Yeah.
So if you remember, this is the door that Tina comes through with a mask, and she's like, "Save me from Freddy." So
It's amazing.
and
There it is.
this
Painted
is the
blue.
front of the door. So if you remember the first Elm Street and Elm Street 7, the door is blue and not red. So
Indeed.
this is where Marge gets sucked out of.
Yep. When they're driving away.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here it is.
That's so cool. Now that's an item that I don't think you could get any more. Somebody,
Oh no.
yeah, a collector
So
would. Yeah, I mean, it's just that's a hard. That's a great find.
it was, and actually, let me pull it up. So I'm one of those people that has my everything, my checkbook from many
Oh,
years
you keep a
ago.
log of all that?
Yep.
Oh,
So
good.
July 25th, 2005.
That's when you
So
obtained the door.
that's when I paid for the door.
Oh, it's so cool.
Very,
That's a great thing to have. That's the
very,
original door too. From
yeah. So at
it's
the
not a
time,
reshoot. It's not a replica. It's not from Nightmare on Elm Street
yeah,
Part 8. It's the
gross.
original door.
Um, so at the time, he had like other items too, like I remember some stuff in the bathroom, and a couple of other things,
Huh.
and I remember at the time I sent it, it's like, send me some more pictures because I just want to make sure. And I had the DVD out and couldn't make sure everything lined up.
Good.
So yeah, and then I was like, I had to have it. So
You got to get it. Well,
what's
there it is.
I was fixated with the door as
The
a
door is a great thing to have because it does play a pretty large significance
it does, yeah.
in a lot of the scenes. If it were like the light switch or something, you'd be like, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
cool.
I'll
But
deal with it. But
the door is it's significant and not
yeah.
only and also prominent.
So for some reason I was even in my teenage years, for some reason I was kind of fixated with that door. So
So like 5 years ago, you're saying,
yeah, well, yeah, of course, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so it is every once in a while, yeah, something will be on. I'm like, oh, I have that.
Oh no, it's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for bringing all that out too. I
Yeah.
know that's a lot, but it's very exciting to see all that, and I'm sure everybody appreciates that as well.
And you'll appreciate me not wearing my original Nightmare on Elm Street shirts for you tonight. So
But why?
be very, very tight.
But you still have them, which is the beauty of
I
it.
still have them, yeah.
Let me ask you a Nightmare on Elm Street question. Out of all of those items that you have, which one would you absolutely not part with for any price?
Uh, Probably the door. I
The
don't know.
door, right?
I mean, I get asked about it, but
I bet you're the true fan.
and I got off paying hardly anything for that. So
Right. Well,
for
you gotta. Yeah, I don't know what you paid for it, but I can tell you it's probably
I,
a lot less than what somebody would pay for it now. I
I
mean,
will say with shipping, it was in triple digits.
was it really?
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it would have to be.
it was with shipping. It was still under 500.
Shipping was under 500.
I mean, the total cost plus purchase price plus shipping was under 500 total.
The whole thing?
Correct.
Wow, you stole that.
I know.
That's
But
amazing. Oh, how could you not get it?
oh yeah,
I don't think whoever sold it knew what they had.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they did either. So, but
Because even at that time, you bought it 2005.
mhm.
Yeah, it's not like it was 1990 where people are like,
No,
yeah, whatever.
yeah,
It was still new.
it was still yeah. So,
It's
but
pretty cool.
but yeah. So
Well, great job. Thanks a lot.
you're welcome.
We'll do Matthew's Vault. The only thing I could
Yeah,
bring to the
let's bring.
table is planes, trains, and automobiles. But I get it. Like the script is like I hold it dear to my heart. I would never part with it. And I do get offers for it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not looking to make money off this.
Mm-mm.
It's, you're a fan. It's your
Yeah.
work. It's your,
At some point, well, this is my retirement fund.
right.
Since we won't have Social Security left, but
Robert's peddling the shoes outside.
I was like, here's some Freddy Krueger shoes. Whoever's interested. I remember. Yeah.
The shoes. It's awesome that you have two pairs of that too. It's like a backup.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to stop having multiples of everything. I don't know
No,
why.
you
but
don't.
yeah,
See,
I
that's
don't.
why you need it. It comes in handy.
Like just in case when this Freddy goes bad, then I'll have another backup. But yeah, and I've gotten with the new house. Obviously, it's like these things are now made to display because for years this Elm Street door, people's like, oh, do you have it? I was like, it sits in my closet. Like people are like, what? I was like,
It's like under the bed.
Yeah.
Underneath like clothes.
Yeah, but because you would hear, you have actors and stuff. I remember Nancy Keys, who played Annie in Halloween. That she goes, I mean, I think her costume and stuff, like she goes, oh yeah, I had that for a while, and then I just wore out, so I think I threw it away. Like people were like, what are you?
You don't get it.
about?
Yeah, you could. Right.
And he's like, that was
Well, it's you don't think about it, but people like you would think about it, and it's like, hold on to that.
yeah. So, but
they've done a good job with Raiders of the Lost Ark, keeping a lot of those props, like even insignificant ones, like the models used for the ghosts. I just saw a video that one of the collectors
Nice.
has them. They kept like everything from that movie. Whereas Jaws, like very few things exist. It's like it's sad.
Well, they didn't even want to keep the boat for
I
God's
know. I know we did a whole show on that, like the orca. It's just that might be the biggest tragedy in prop history is that
Yeah,
they didn't keep the orca.
avoidable tragedy too. Like, come on.
Right, I mean, it's big enough where it shouldn't really be lost, but it was thrown out.
Yeah, but I also remember we've talked about before. I think the 13 going on 30 dress that she wears during the Thriller segment.
Yeah.
That was just a rand, and they put the dress back into the costume department when they were done with it, and not knowing, and that dress would show up in TV shows and stuff like that, not knowing, not the importance of the dress, but people
Yeah.
remember that.
People are
Yeah,
going to know.
I think they've probably finally snagged it back out for Jennifer Garner, but yeah,
Yeah. Right. But it did go back into circulation. And it's like,
yeah,
maybe hold on to that one.
yeah. Maybe we should put this one, and yeah, but
That might be a good idea.
Hollywood likes to throw away stuff. So.
Yeah. Less is more, especially films, like early film. They just threw them out when they were done because they didn't think there was no aftermarket
Who
back.
would want this?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know like 70% of film is lost forever? Like from the beginning of
Yeah.
film. They've
Well,
it's
just
crazy.
Just took a couple fires.
Yeah. Right. That doesn't
So
help.
if you didn't know, that was highly flammable and actually explosive.
Yeah.
Was it
Film will.
nitrate and
Yep.
whatever it was? But
Yeah.
yeah. So it does remind, because I know Wes Craven did have like Heather's original pajamas from the Elm Street, and
Oh, really?
I kind of curious what happened to those after he passed.
Oh, nobody knows?
I don't know. I never really heard, if those went to his estate or
Yeah.
what have you, because I know he had some of those things in his garage.
I've always wondered about people like Wes Craven and John Carpenter. May he be with us for a long time. But when they go, what are they going to find film-wise in their closets that,
Yeah.
just waiting? Like Wes Craven, I'm surprised there hasn't been a lot. I don't know. Maybe he got rid of it, or who knows? But
Yeah, unless I missed it, I don't know. But
yeah, but he always like negatives of films
Yeah.
and like B-roll and things like that they just kept. Be nice to see, see what they have.
Yeah. And I do remember, so I had a friend that was helping a friend clean I got paid to help clean up a garage or whatever, and it ended up being Brian Fuller's garage.
Oh, really? Wow.
And he said, he was like, it was like, because he did the first remake of Carrie, and the blood bucket was just sitting in his garage.
Oh, that's so cool. This you helped clean out?
No, I had a friend. Yeah,
that's so funny.
He's like, really? So, but
it just
knows?
stays there, and it's like, yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's why if you're in LA and you have those random estate sales, you never know what.
We do see those from time to time, and I haven't never seen anything cool yet. I've only been on a few, but it's fun. You see them around, and it's like, yeah,
I know.
You never know.
Yeah. Scott from Dearly Departed does. Scott Michaels goes to those, and he gets some.
Oh, he probably finds some
good random things. Yeah. So
yeah,
and he literally takes anything. Like he's like, this was the sink in Zsa Zsa Gabor's. Like.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know. So.
No, you never know. It's fascinating, really. But you have some great stuff, and we're going to talk about something. Robert, you shared this from Bloody Disgusting. I didn't even know about this, but what is this? Stephen King?
Stephen King. He's an author. If you're not familiar with, if
He's
you've not heard the name, so
it's a name.
And I thought of you, of course. So, so he authorized a kind of a short story anthology called "The End of the World as We Know It." So, as far as I know, all of these stories, 34 stories, and they all kind of take place during or after the events of The Stand.
The Stand.
So yeah, so he has quite a few authors, and so it's kind of, people are kind of curious at what this is going to be like, and kind of excited to kind of have other people revisit it. So it's kind of it's weird because it's kind of an authorized fan fiction.
Which I think will really work with The Stand.
Yeah.
Because it's such a large universe. It's 800 pages of 34 new stories set around the events of The Stand. And I always thought you could make a mini series, like, aside from the book.
Yeah.
Like, what was it like, Franny and her boyfriend's relationship before
Mhm.
the pandemic, and what was Project Blue like
Yeah.
working there, and were there red flags with the government? Like, there's all kinds of
Mhm.
I don't know, and these are all news stories written not by King but authorized by him.
Yeah, yeah, so he's kinda authorizing, so I don't know if how much of a say or yeah, I'm sure he just lets people go,
Yeah,
carte blanche for what they but it's like, what's happening in Canada during counter
right,
trips? I don't know.
because it was
It's
released.
all about the US, of course, so
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, because General Starkey ordered it to be released in the Soviet Union at the
mhm,
time and China so that they wouldn't like win. What was that like? Because remember
yeah,
in the book, the agents go over there and release the virus.
yeah,
Like
so,
that's fascinating.
uh,
And this comes out August.
yeah, in August of next year, so,
Okay.
yeah, so I think it'll be kind of interesting. I hope to get there better be one called Franny's House.
Absolute. Hey, what about
But
Franny's
some
house?
hoodlums that move into Franny's house after they watch them leave, and they're like, "Let's get in there.
Let's get it.
We're gonna
This
play
is so
her
cool.
records." Yeah.
Wow. Well, excited to read this. That's fascinating.
So,
Bloody
yeah.
Disgusting's good too. I feel like they have a good
Yes.
pulse.
That's kinda my usual only one I kinda go to
Bloody
'cause
Disgusting.
yeah, to kinda see what's going on horror-wise,
Yeah.
but,
What was your what do you get notifications if something on the stand comes up?
no, I don't, I should, but
Yeah, we
otherwise
all should. Everybody.
what's happening with the stand? What's going on now? Who's
Right?
talking about it?
Who's talking about it?
Oh, only us. It'd just be us
Only
showing up like
us.
they're talking about the stand again. Surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
What are they gonna talk
Um,
about next? Tubi?
if TV. Oh gosh, I'm excited about that. That's exciting. All right, and finally, it's time for Robert's
Mhm.
favorite segment of all time, Blind Man's Bluff.
Yay.
Yay! Are you up for this challenge,
Yeah,
Robert?
I never am, but yeah.
I never have. Okay. So, the description from setjero.com is for better or worse, this fan favorite sequel set the precedent and formula for many sequels to come. They got more things right than wrong for sure in this entry. And anytime they bring blank actress back in the mix, you can't go wrong.
I was gonna say Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Oh, how'd you do it, sir? I don't know,
Uh,
but you do it every time. Oh, here we go.
there's a couple of things that kinda sound familiar that because it did set the precedent for all the future Nightmare on Elm Street. So, as you know, Elm Street 2, people
It
felt like
did.
they kinda strayed in a number of ways that even though it's kinda now has a new fan base, but they also kinda messed with
Yeah, don't blow up
the lore
parakeets.
of Freddy, so but yeah. 16-year-old Robbie in the theater to go see this opening
That's
night.
exciting.
Yeah.
This wasn't random, though, I have to
Oh,
confess.
was it? Okay.
It's for the show, but, we've done Dream Masters before, we've done the
Mhm.
original Nightmare on Elm Street, and we've done, I believe, New Nightmare, but we haven't done this, so
Okay.
this is probably my favorite one aside from number 1. It's exciting
Yeah, well, we'll see because
for
I've not
movies.
I've not updated these pages in a while, so let's see
You don't
what
need
they
to, you're
look
too
like.
busy.
So, oh, there's the Elm Street house. So this
Oh,
picture,
there it is.
the real life picture that you see there, that was taken in 2001, I think.
Oh,
So
wow.
this is like one, there was no bushes. You could see the house. This was the house as it looked. So it was before it got remodeled. So it was not in the best of shape, but
Yeah.
this is the way it looks. So this is when post remodel, which they kind of made it nicer.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Cool. Yeah. Nice spot in
yeah.
Genesee Ave. We
Here we
know where
are,
this is.
Weston Hill Psychiatric Hospital. Yeah, we were all there one day.
Yeah.
So this is the back of the hospital. This was actually my first one of my first movie locations. So not this picture, but I think the next picture. Yep. So right there. This is
Really?
when I was visiting in 1988.
What?
So
That long ago?
a year after the movie came out. This I remember
Wow.
I was taking a workshop over the summer at UCLA between high school graduation and starting college, and I just remember we walked up the Royce Hill steps, and I was like, oh my god, I am on Nightmare on Elm Street 3
So this is one of the
location.
first.
Yeah, so, yeah, if you click ahead or go down, let me see, I can't remember how these pictures are, so
Okay. We
I
walked
do
down
have,
there.
yeah, we walked down there, but it didn't used to be like that. So this is what it looks like now. And I think if you go to the next picture, maybe not,
Oh, I'm sorry. Next
or
picture
keep
on
going.
this
Yeah, yeah.
slides.
Yep. So here's what it used to look like.
Oh,
So
wow.
now there's steps down there, but this is
Yeah.
where in the original film there was a tree, and there you can kind of see they remodeled it.
Interesting.
So authentic 1980s
It
pictures.
really is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great.
And this is
Royce
where
Hall.
poor Philip
Yeah.
got it.
With the
So
veins. That's always a
yeah,
tough one.
it was. Yeah. So it was. Oh, it was such a good viewing
It
in the
brilliant.
theater. Yeah.
Such a
So,
good, such a
yeah.
great sequel
Yeah.
too.
Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the cemetery. So uh
This is what the nun show. Yeah.
yes.
There
Amanda Kruger. So
you go. Yep.
who are you talking to, Neil?
No, who are you talking to?
Let's go.
I just watched this recently. It holds up. It's such
It's
a
still,
great movie.
it clips along, so and I think that's
Yes,
part of it.
it does.
So and I think at the time nobody really knew where some of these spots were because I went down. This is kind of the bottom part of Weston Hills, and this is kind of the parking lot. It's kind of, I couldn't get too good of shots with all the trucks, but
We
you go
we
down to
walked down here, right?
yeah, we did walk down there. So if you go down further, so he looks up and they're in front of Race Hall, and then when you go cut back to where he is, he's actually on the other side of the building. If you go down, and these kind
Oh,
of
okay.
windows and stuff like that. So
Cut to the back of it.
yeah, cut to the back. So, but there he is.
Nice.
And
Neil drives Nancy to meet up with her dad.
yep.
Larchmont.
So Larchmont Boulevard, used in quite a.
Yeah.
It's used often. So here's the church on South Van Ness Avenue. So it's nice. The door was open, so I could even get the same shot.
Oh, that's cool. That's a nice touch.
That they had. Yeah. Thank you, church.
That is cool.
And then I think the next I have some indoor shots. So which
Oh,
the
nice.
80s life just asked, he just did a video on Elm Street 3 and he asked to use these pictures because he's been trying to get into this church and I guess
Oh,
he couldn't.
wow.
So they had some gates and this is where he kind of steals the holy water. So
Oh, yeah.
and this church was also used in War of the Worlds, the original.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Very
what
cool.
else?
Evergreen Cemetery.
Back to the cemetery.
Hold on, what's going on?
Yeah. So
Was this the nun in the back, or?
Yep. So
right.
But
or Amanda Kruger.
Amanda Kruger. This is where he finds out it's Amanda Kruger.
Amanda Kruger.
But yeah, so there's me with some of the Dream Warriors themselves.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
And that shirt is the original crew shirt from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, really? The original?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's packed away somewhere. I'm not sure. But
I like that you have that.
Yeah.
Your collection is so big. You're not even able to get them all.
I didn't bring out everything tonight, but
it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's Philip. He's fine now.
Philip's fine.
Yeah. Some of them. There were a couple of them at the Hollywood show a couple times ago. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But yeah, Ira was. Oh, there's original. That's my 1987 shirt right there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
that's a really cool shirt.
When I could fit into it. There you go.
No, that's exciting. That artwork though is always it's the best.
I had that poster and I would just stare at it forever.
Oh yeah, I mean it's amazing.
And the little house, yeah.
Yeah. The artwork for that film is incredible.
You could tell how old it's because I didn't have to wear glasses at the time. So.
Oh, is that the catalyst?
Yeah, then so there's I didn't even need glasses. So.
I don't even need glasses. And if you want to do some set jetting yourself, Robert is gracious enough to include a map on his website at setjetter.com. I like the thumbnail for this too. Welcome to Springwood.
Well, there wasn't too many options, and
I know it's a nice touch.
I don't like to promote Freddy's Dead, but
no, I know.
That's the best I had. So
no, it's nice.
Which I think that right there's Franklin Canyon Reservoir.
That's it.
Here we go.
Well, Freddy's Dead. They did save the best for last. But Dream Warriors holds up too.
And Dream Warriors, I guess, is okay for some people, but
it's fine, I guess.
But it did so well that part 4 is kind of quite a repeat, but it just kind of became slicker and slicker, and I don't know.
Well, part 4, that's a tough act to follow. I mean, I kind of could see what they were doing, but I'm not a fan of 4. And there's a few shots that are okay, but 3 was such a powerhouse. I mean, 2 felt like it was still it was falling into like the sequelitis kind of thing.
Yeah, it was still they were still learning too, and New Line was
Yeah.
still, and they it was churned out almost less than a year later. So
Right, right.
they made it very quickly. But
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the timeline, they did one like every year.
yeah, so but yeah, and it seems, and I from what I can tell, the Dream Warriors production was kind of a nightmare uh, on its own, that they kind of worked people to death. But
Yeah, you read about that. Or you can read about that.
yes,
It was like a tough set. Do you revisit speaking of the sequels, not Dream Warriors, Dream Master or Dream Child ever?
it's every once in a while if they're on, I might watch a little bit, but then I don't sit and
You're
watch
not
them.
firing up the 4K on a Friday
No,
night.
no, no.
No.
So, but yeah, I'm trying to think. One, 3, and 7 are the ones I
Yeah.
watch. So
Yeah. Me too. Yeah, 1, 3, it's 7's on all I don't own it, but I have the other ones. I'll watch them. They're fun.
you can admit you watch Freddy's Dead
I will watch it just
every,
so we can talk about it.
just so you don't forget. I was like, I don't want it to lose.
We'll have to revisit that one again soon because we did it like one of our early shows, but I don't know. It's a whole discussion. I don't know why they promoted it as being the best.
Well, they didn't know, so it has
No.
a good trailer. I'll give you that.
It
But
does. The
yeah,
trailer is good.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is it. They're going
This
back
is
to their root. Yeah,
this is it. Come and get it. And then Wes
Freddy's
Craven's
Dead.
like, we gotta cleanse the palate.
Yeah. Well, obviously, New Nightmare I can talk about forever and ever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And that was ahead of its time, A New Nightmare.
it was. It was gonna there's been meta
It
horror
was like
movies before that,
pre-Scream.
but it was, yeah, it was pre-Scream by a couple years. And there's been some other meta horror, but I think people didn't quite know what to do with it. And even then, I was confused on what was going on, because I remember I'd read about it, and I didn't quite understand, because they said it's not a sequel, but they're playing themselves, but not really. And I'm like, at the time, I was like, what do you mean? Like, what?
Yeah,
Tw-
right. It was tough to figure out at the time because it was so new.
yeah, 24-year-old
Like
Robert, like,
mainstream.
what? Yeah.
What? I don't
But
get it.
but
Just
then
play
once I got,
it.
I was excited. I remember just being so excited to see the Elm Street house and that one shot
Oh,
at
yeah.
the end on the big screen. So
I think horror films, genres, franchises do a really good job of nostalgia and fan work if done right. Like the Halloween trilogy, the new one did a pretty good job. Friday the 13th maybe missed the mark a
mm,
little bit, but Freddy does a pretty good job.
yeah, they
I mean,
tried
with New
more.
Nightmare, not with
Yeah,
Freddy vs. Jason.
at least for even 3, 4, they had tried to do some continuity. So they did bring
Yeah.
back cast, unlike some of the Friday the 13th. They really just
No.
didn't bother too much, or even the Halloween. Sometimes they recast because
Yeah.
people were too expensive or what have you. But
Right.
it's
It,
unnamed actresses. But
do you think Friday the 13th 4 through 6 would have done better? I mean, 4 is a masterpiece, but they would have been even more special if Tommy Jarvis was Corey Feldman and all of them, or at least the
uh,
same actor.
no, so I remember at the time, as a as a scrappy teenager. So by the time Elm Street came out,
Teenager.
yeah, it was. So by the time Elm Street came out, because I think it came out on video around the time Part 5 of Friday the 13th was coming into theaters, and even then, it's like Friday's out, Freddy's in. It was one of those, they already knew Nightmare on Elm Street was going to be the new thing. So Friday was the 13th was
Oh,
kind of already on its way, and Elm Street was going to be kind of the new thing.
after Friday the 13th Part 5.
Yeah, because Part 5 and Nightmare on Elm Street came on video kind of around that same time, and people were already like, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about horror fans. I'm talking about like actual teenagers in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
80s. Yeah, I just remember having those talks, and we were like, "Yeah,
Oh,
but now,
wow.
yeah." So because we were like, "Yeah, but Fred," it was a new twist, and how are you supposed to escape? If you all fall asleep. So
Yeah, and A New Beginning didn't really help the argument for Jason. I
no,
mean,
no, because I think that was just like people were like,
yeah,
we were uppity teenagers, like, oh, we're not doing that, but
right. Because Jason Lives was almost a complete 180 from 5. I mean,
yeah,
it's Jason Lives in the title. It's Jason being reanimated. He's on the cover. they lost a lot of fans, and it
Yeah.
never really recovered.
But we all still, a lot of us still went. Just
Yeah.
at least
Oh,
opening
yeah.
weekend. Yeah, we always, you always went to the new horror movie.
Right. Yeah, which is cool.
I think the only one I didn't go to because I was a little apprehensive for some reason was Hellraiser.
I was
thought,
gonna ask you that.
yeah,
Literally, I was thinking, 'cause I knew you were Halloween, I knew you were Jason,
yeah, I
so I
did
was
go
like, were you
see
a
that in the
Hellraiser
theater. I
guy?
remember I was like, I don't think this is for me.
I don't think Hellraiser is on that level of, at least not then, of Friday the
Yeah,
13th, and, um, interesting.
but
But at least you saw Jaws: The Revenge before The Lost Boys. That's all that
damn it,
matters.
I made a lot of mistakes in
No
1987.
kidding. Oh, that's fun. Um, we'll have to do another tagline quiz soon of
Uh,
3 of the franchises of which
bring it,
movie.
bring it on,
Yeah, you
bring
would
it
know.
on. I usually, yeah.
You're
Well,
pretty good.
the older I get, I don't know, but yeah,
I don't know, pretty good. Well, that'll be our show tonight, unless you had anything else, Robert?
that's all I got.
That's all I got. Well, that was fantastic. Thanks for bringing out all of your items for Robert's Vault.
You are welcome.
Good times. Don't forget to visit Robert's website at setshare.com. Thank you all for tuning in, listening, and watching, and we will see you on the set.